Welcome back to MX Bikes, everybody, where today we're going to be playing Stonepoint Round 2 by Buzz Cooksey. That is right. MX versus ATV Reflex, a classic track in Reflex as well. Although I feel like all tracks in Reflex are classic tracks. So I feel like I say classic tracks in Reflex all the time. But this one is a very good one as well. It's one of my kind of favorite low-key, underrated Supercross tracks from the game. And Buzz Cooksey has put out a few of these replicas. I think we did Kingston Round 1 already for sure. I can't remember the other one that he's put out, but this is his third, as he says. Thanks a lot of people. Help from Red Rider, Steezy, Agitato, Janes, Kells and Cody, the Fluffy Gecko, Dirt Twister, all helping him out. So shout out to them. But yeah, Buzz Cooksey, I'm also riding his Progressive Suzuki that he released today, I think, while we do this. And we're going to compare and contrast this track with the Reflex track and what he got right or what he got, pretty close, and kind of how they play, I guess, both as well. So we're going to try to change up the lines and see what we can do with them. I am playing in third person, which I know some people who just like bikes content like first person only, but as sticking with the theme of Reflex, arcade game, arcade camera, third person camera, etc., figured let's do third person so we can keep it uniform, because then that way when I show off the track in Reflex, it kind of looks the same, and then we can kind of overlay them together and take a look. So first off, you obviously have this rhythm section out of turn 1. The two kind of main options in Reflex were triple quad or step on step off quad double table thingy. So both of those are sort of doable in the Buzz Cooksey version, but very difficult. Right here, the main line for sure was triple quad right there, or triple double quad. You really have to huck it on the Buzz Cooksey version. And I could be, playing on a better bike as well. I'm on the Yo Suzuki, so it's fast, but not the fastest. And I could be on a faster bike, but, just thinking of it from a realistic standpoint of like 450 in general, being able to huck those big lines back then. And I feel like, it should be a little bit more doable in this game, but it's all right. I feel like he built kind of both of those sections pretty correctly, and the finish line I think he also nailed, because this totally was the line, step over the double and then jump the tabletop finish line thingy and then double into the corner. This one, it was definitely much more lower, I feel like, than that on off, like just stepping over the table and then rolling to the inside of the corner was a little bit easier on the Reflex version. So let me try to get this line here. So you over table right there, triple, and I don't think I'm going to get enough oomph to like quad all the way into the corner. Like basically that was like two rollers in Reflex. And then I like that he made the whoops right here pretty small, because in Reflex you can absolutely blitz the crap out of those whoops. Let's see how close I can get to quadding. I maybe need to land in third gear to actually quad right there. And then this back rhythm section here, we go over this triple. This back rhythm section, it's actually pretty easy in Reflex to go over table, and then quad all the way to that roller or that single, just the way that the jumps are built. I feel like that rhythm section, everything's just slightly bigger than the Reflex version, so it just pitches you higher. I think the lap times are honestly quite a bit slower than the Reflex version, and obviously it's an arcade game versus a simulation game in MX Bikes, so there is going to be a little bit of that weird crossover. But just kind of pointing out a couple things that I feel like if he'd like lowered a jump here or lowered a jump there, the lap times maybe would have been a little bit quicker, reflected the Reflex version a little bit more, because you get a lot of airtime on a lot of these jumps in the bikes version. So let's cut out of this corner here. You go step on, step off, and I went a little bit long right there. So going over the table is kind of, like I said, the main line in Reflex. Some people would do some even bigger lines than that if you start using the whip glitch and stuff like that, but I'm just trying to talk about like just standard playing it and what it feels like to hit some of those jumps. Getting a little sideways right there. Yeah, knew I was going to go down. The other option right there obviously is to like kind of tire tap triple, which I'll do one lap at least of showing that off. And then for the most part, I've been going inside right here. So you double this guy inside right here, then you step up onto this table, off, over this single, over the next single, and then you get a really good clean run into the whoops. I feel like the Reflex version also had the on-offs, like you could really rail those on-offs pretty cleanly. And then I don't think anybody ever went to the inside coming out of that off-camber right there. Like it's possible, but it's just like a bad divot that makes no sense to go down into. So, but yeah, overall, like I like the way that he built it, because I still feel like it gives you a little bit of an arcade feel with like how jumpy everything is in that regard. So even though it maybe isn't as fast as the Reflex version, it feels kind of fun and floaty like Reflex provided. So it gives you ample opportunity to throw some cool whips, some cool scrubs and stuff like that. I try to stay left here because then that little single takeoff is lower, and then quadding all the way into the corner is a little bit more doable. Anyway, so yeah, like I think that, you know, for the most part, he nailed pretty much most of the aspects of the track. The rhythms really do kind of work the way that they're supposed to. Like, you just maybe can't stretch a quad here and there that was a little bit more doable in Reflex, but that's just the nature of, like I said, real versus arcade when it comes to gameplay. And then, like, I think that, you know, for the most part, he built like the shapes of the jumps pretty nicely so that nothing really, you know, kicks you ridiculously high or too far or something like that as well. I think he just kind of made everything as it should be, and then bikes, there's just some things that are limited in what you can do and can't do versus an arcade game. So let me go ahead and finish one more lap here. We'll just kind of show off a couple different aspects, like of course coming to the inside here up the finish line jump, then you jump all the way over this single to then roll into the corner. I think I've already kind of showed off both options here. I kind of like just doing the step on, step off here, just because that last little roller on the out is a little bit big, so it's not as easy to connect to. And then obviously you can kind of swoop to this inside right here and not have to go all the way to the berm to just step up onto this table and off. Maybe would have got it a little bit cleaner, could have gotten over that quad, but not quite. And then yeah, the whoops, super easy. I already think I showed you guys a line here coming out of this one where you like tire tap. And then obviously, like I said, the main line here would be down into this transition and quad all the way into the corner. But I like that he rolled that last single out as well, because it's a little bit more built up in Reflex, so it kind of pitches you into the corner a little bit harder. But this version of it, I feel like it just makes it, I don't know, kind of flow better. Because otherwise, if you're not able to get that quad, you try every time and you come up short and you crunch it, and this wouldn't be fun. And like I said, like there's no real need to take this inside line right here, because the off camber never really worked. There's obviously like a lower ledge right there, but then the dip down off of that just it's ridiculous. Like if it had a roller into the whoops or something that worked a little bit better, I would imagine it would make more sense to take that line, but it just doesn't make any sense at all in my opinion. So yeah, either way, that is a look here at the bikes version. I want to jump over to Reflex now and take a look at that so we can kind of compare and contrast though. All right, so let's check out Stonepoint Round 2 in Reflex now. And of course, I got to ride the Zook. I mean, I got to make it look as accurate as possible to what we just did. So let's try out some of these different lines. Like I said, inside right here is pretty easy to step over that tabletop. And then that one, like a little bit more of like a double. Like I said, the whoops start a little bit earlier, I guess, coming out of that corner if I'm being super nitpicky, but I don't really care that much about it. And then, as I said, over this double, which was a little bit taller, I guess, than I originally thought. And then quadding over to that corner, not too difficult, little case right there. Pretty big supercross triple. And then let's try the line I was taking, which is inside here, step on, off, and then to there. Okay, so yeah, now I remember you definitely can jump up onto that second tabletop pretty easily. So it's just like things were a little bit closer together. I think on the bikes version, a lot more of this would be possible. And then the tire tap there, land into the whoops here. Pretty accurate there, I feel like. Double into the finish line. Nice little scrubber opportunity right there. Double into this corner. And then, yeah, like I said, I feel like I would go over this. And then I guess that roller is a little bit bigger than I remember. So that's more accurate than I thought. Double over the start. We'll swing out wide this time to go over table, and then that turns into a triple. A little short. Okay, didn't quite get it. But then, like I said, yeah, I feel like once you get that triple, jumping all the way into the corner here, a little bit easier. And I think it's pretty noticeable that like the Reflex version is smaller. So in a way, kind of funny that Reflex turns out to be more like, you know, distance-wise accurate to what real life would be. But I think that's just, you know, Buzz Cooksey was just trying to, as I said, make it a little more arcadey, a little more floaty. You know, just like I said, to keep it closer or to keep it more on the fun side, similar to what Reflex was. Because Reflex is all about, you know, having fun. Look, you know, it's a moto game. They tried to keep it realistic. But I think for the most part, people like to play this game to throw whips and have fun. So if you're playing MX bikes and you're like, I'm going to play a Reflex track, I want to throw whips and have fun. And then you load it up and it's super difficult or smaller than you expected, you'll probably be like, what the heck, man? So yeah, jumping there and then that roller. It's also quaddable right there. But again, I hate picking up games like this and going like, hey man, remember all these ridiculous, unrealistic lines we took? Like, I like to have a little bit more fun and keep it a little bit more realistic in that regard. So, but yeah, I think for the most part, like I said, Buzz Cooksey got the lines pretty good. A couple things that could be slightly different or better, but it's two different games at the end of the day. So you're going to always have some things that work and some things that don't, and some things that, you know, bikes players can do, or, you know, reflex players can do that the opposite can or cannot do. So like I said, over here, I feel like it's pretty easy. Yeah, over the table to there, and then quad. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't even get it very clean, and it was pretty simple, doable right there. So yeah, not bad. Like, it's certainly as close as you probably want it to be when you're downloading it. You're pretty excited about what things look like, or how they play, or how they feel. So well done to Buzz Cooksey, and appreciate him putting another fun track like that together. Always cool to go back down memory lane a little bit, play some tracks like this, and, you know, remind ourselves what Reflex was like and what we've come from in the last 16 years of moto gaming. So here's the line right here, and in this transition, and then jump all the way into the corner. Pretty easy. I feel like I said, it's not outlandish to be able to hit that line. So, but yes, again, shout out Buzz Cooksey. Appreciate the work that he does as not only a track creator, but obviously a graphics creator as well. Made that Suzuki that we used in bikes, and I'll include a link to those in the description below. It's a free track, so definitely give him some support, and shout out to him for still making some bangers for the community to play for free. And yeah, appreciate all you guys tuning in and watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one little comparison video of two games and the same track between the two games. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. Happy to chat with you guys down there. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. So long for now.